Well, one that really comes to my mind was when we started, to make VAHVA Fitness in the very early days. When I was, for example, making the first videos, I felt like when I put the camera there and I was like trying to watch the camera, I felt incredibly awkward. Like now, if I'm talking to this camera, I'm like, it feels quite natural because I've grown a lot over the years. But during those times, I was like, I felt frozen. I didn't know really where to even watch, and it felt completely unnatural. I felt out of place. I don't even feel like I was so insecure and doubtful that I thought, am I really even up for this? Should I be doing this? Like, there's so many people who seem to be very good at talking and explaining things, and I'm like, I felt clumsy in there, and you're afraid of the judgment of the people in that sense. But it was kind of, that you had to bear that. Like, what I could see was that I'm all in. Like, I left everything behind. I'm in this thing. Like, okay, I'm gonna feel uncomfortable. I'm gonna feel a little bit afraid. I'm gonna feel all of these feelings, but I just have to go through them. There was no plan B. There's nothing else. And I felt like what I could achieve and things that we could share with the world is more important than my own insecurities. So that was kind of in the starting that because I felt like I identified also with this more like a silent type of person. So I had to get past that in the beginning of the VAHVA Fitness. Of course, it was a long process, but I feel like I made it pretty well. But that was more like the mental side. Just, everyone is fighting with their own doubts and so on. And I had to go through that as well. But then there was the physical aspect of it, because once I started to really train like the bodybuilding style of training and heavy lifting, and I really got inspiration from probably all the wrong sources. I did not realize that these people that were promoting a lot of these training styles, that they were actually quite broken. They were broken, and they had really no sense of their bodies. They were really following their ego in the training. And I took this influence to myself, and for a period of time, without really having built any proper foundation or background with my training, like what I would nowadays consider a great foundation, I was just focusing on the most impressive bodyweight skills, all of these levers and planches and handstands and push-ups, handstands, push-ups, everything. You name the hardest skills you can name. I was trying to do them. I was obsessed with them. I was also trying to, every time I went to the gym, if I do back squats, deadlifts, like I had to lift the heaviest amount, because I thought otherwise it won't work, and otherwise I won't be even perceived as a strong person. And I was really got sucked into this. And it's not, I already had imbalances in my body even before this. Like, I had some back issues since the teenage days, actually, that I had never probably been able to address, because I just didn't have the knowledge. And therapists, regular at least physiotherapists, really don't have always the knowledge to really help with these things. So I went to this kind of hardcore training. I wreaked a lot of havoc in my body. Like, my back was actually hurting from multiple sides, from the center of the back, from these humeral areas. I was sometimes so crippled, I like debilitated completely. I couldn't really get out of bed sometimes, and I had pinching hips from multiple areas, pinching shoulder, and it started to accumulate so many issues that I had to make a change. I had to stop. This was some of the biggest physical challenges, again, because I did not see any alternative during those times. There were the people, you couldn't really find even an alternative way. The people were promoting the type of training, and I was still thinking that maybe I'll just do a little bit of fixing that, and a little bit of some shoulder motion here, rotation, and some hip circles, and it will be fine. I can continue like any way I want. But it didn't work. So I had a lot of these pains and issues, and I had to really find, actually I had to first get rid of the ego, get past it. I had to see my value beyond these kind of feats. As a trainer, even as a human being, I had to find some other values, and luckily I had that kind of background. Like I said, I had background in the dance and martial arts movement and all this kind of stuff, and I started to go back to these roots, like I said, through the movement training and everything. I started to find out ways how I could open up my body. But this was a very, very long process. But it was the best experience that could ever have happened to me was actually breaking my body. Because I never got like completely injured, I never like really tore anything, but I was just in aches and pains and tightnesses all over my body, just feeling horrible and getting stiffer by the day. But this experience led me to actually on the path where I currently am. It was this turning point of just realizing like I am a wreck, I have been following the wrong advice, and I need to take charge of my physical development from this on with some different methods. And again, well, this is something you've already probably seen a lot in this channel about the training that we do nowadays. Everything came out of as a solution, to develop a solution to these issues and develop a way of getting strong, truly strong, without really breaking yourself in this process.